So you see, it's going to be a whole lot of tribulation going on the earth. And the Master told us in Matthew 24 and 21, listen, these last days he tells us, Jacob's trouble. It says, hey, for then shall be great tribulation. A whole lot of hell going on the earth that we just read. You know, racial wars, every man against his hand against his neighbor, martial law, you're not going to be able to go from city to city. You know, they're going to be coming to people's houses with guns and stealing everything that they have because of lack of bread and great tribulation. What we just read, now look what the Master Shai said. Matthew 24 and 21. But then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days shall be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. Shoot, they want to get your population down to 500 million from all the billions of people that's on the earth. He said, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, that's why it's important for y'all and me and every one of us as Israelites to be tapped into the Most High, y'all, and keeping his ways, doing what he say do, which is keeping his commandments. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. You see? The days going to be shortened for the elect's sake. And the elect is defined in Isaiah 45, 45th chapter. Just show you, because I'm just saying what I know, but I'm going to prove it to you through the scriptures. In Isaiah 45 and 4. For Jacob, my servant's sake, and Israel, who we are, the Israelites, mine elect. You see? So you won't find where the Most High say anyone else is his elect, or bring it forth. Going back to Matthew 24. He said, verse 22 said, then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Mashiach, here is the anointed, here is the Messiah, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false Mashiachim, false anointeds, false messiahs, and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. He said, behold, I have told you before. That's why, look, go to 2 Corinthians, the 11th chapter. Look what it says in verse 14. It says, and no marvel, for Satan, this is Satan, the devil, the dragon, the serpent, the Edomites, all in the vibrations of and wicked Israelites, children of the devil, and the other nations, himself is transformed into an angel of light. Come on. Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Many gonna call many false Mashiachim, right? Many false Christs, many false messiahs, right? So look, hold that. Get John the 1st chapter. I called it out. Let's go there. John the 1st chapter. See who else is this light? We know the light is the laws of the Most High, the commandments of the Most High, and the Mashiach kept every commandment, and we walked the earth to show that it could be done. So let's get John 1 and 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with the Most High, and the Word was Mashiach Yahushai, as G-O-D, as they got it right there. The same was in the beginning with the Most High, so the Most High in the beginning with himself. Come on now. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made, just like we read in Ephesians 3 and 9. I told you to read from Colossians 1:14 down, you'll see that it's saying the same thing. But how Mashiach made everything if you think the only time he came on this earth is in the flesh? He was the top angel of the Most High. Most High created him. That's why they put A-M-E-N right there in Revelation 3:14, the beginning of the creation of the Most High. That's not the beginning of the creation of the Most High. Or prove it is. Prove it is. And the Mashiach going to tell you to give him all the homage at the end of your prayer, to pray to the Most High. And where did he do that at? If thou can say. Because it's a red edition Bible. It's going to be in red. But he's saying it himself. No, you ain't going to find it. Listen. Remember, Satan had appeared as an angel of light, right? And Mashiach told us there's going to become many that's going to come in my name and say, I am Mashiach, including Satan. Look. Verse 4, in him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light, who was he? Mashiach Yahushua shineth in darkness. He was in the Roman Empire, the so-called white man's empire. The same ones that put him to death. And the darkness comprehended not, you see? The people that's in darkness are ignorant and not knowing. They're not going to comprehend this truth. Listen, they don't comprehend the night because they're in darkness. Esau put the people in gross darkness. Once he told them to get into darkness in Isaiah 47 and 5, Isaiah 60 and 2, he put the people in gross darkness until this day. He said, and the light shineth in darkness. He that light. And also the law is shining in darkness, ignorance. The law, we bring forth the law and the commandments, so you ought to come back to the laws, commandments of the Most High. But we shining in darkness too, just like he was shining in darkness. He that light, we that light now, that's shining in darkness. Satan appears as an angel of light. Got everybody fooled, man. Remember, he just deceived all the nations by what? Sorceries. And it told you in Isaiah 47 and 47th chapter that he was dealing with multitude of sorceries, plural. Multitude of witchcrafts. So it tell you the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness, people that's dealing with the sorceries, comprehended not. Bunch of witches, man. Bunch of people that's dealing with all kind of enchantments, all kind of psychics and all that stuff. Palm readers, all that stuff. Even though you ain't claiming to be one, you caught up in their spells, man. Got all kind of spells on people on this earth. That's what it's saying. Don't make it mean something different. Listen. In the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended not. There was a man sent from the Most High, whose name was John. The same came for a witness to bear witness of the light, which is the Mashiach Yahushua, that all men through him might believe. He was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. You see, that was the true light, which lighteth every man that cometh into the world of Israel. You understand this? So Satan appeared as, like he said, going to be many that's coming in my name, saying, I am Mashiach. So Satan appeared as a Mashiach. Tell me he ain't. What is this? What is this? What is this? He just said he Mashiach. All of them red. He red, right? All of them red. He appeared as an angel of light. Satan himself appeared as an angel of light. So many gonna come in my name and say, I am Mashiach. What did it say? 2 Corinthians 11 and 14. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed. He got to transform himself into an angel of light. He said, therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers, so Satan got ministers, like the one saying we ain't under the Most High's law, because he know that he can't deal with the law. That's why I'm telling y'all, when Mashiach fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, what did he rebuke the devil with? The law. He went to the law of the Most High every single time. And I went over this over and over again with you. So he could not go to the law. He couldn't go to the law. He went to what King David said, cast yourself down, and you're going to have the angels bear you up in their hands. That's what he had to go to. He can't go to the law. But when he kept going to that law, he had to leave him alone. So that's why it's very important to see this, because you're looking at someone telling you you're not under the law. And they saying it verbally. We ain't under the law. We under mercy and grace. We're under grace. You know? And grace is only to the Israelites. Period. Not to anyone else. Prove it. Prove me wrong. I'm telling you. It says, therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed, not normally like this, but they transforming themselves as the ministers of righteousness. And we know righteousness, that's why I keep telling y'all these certain words that I can't take any credit for anything. I'll give all glory and praise to the Most High, because he made me tell you to learn what righteousness is by definition. Let's go. Deuteronomy 6 and 25. In the law defines what righteousness is. So y'all should know this by heart, class, because you keep seeing it, and when you see it, it should bring you back to the fact of it's talking about the Most High's commandments, it's talking about the Most High's laws. Deuteronomy 6:25. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Most High our power, as he have commanded us. You see? So when you see in the New Testament, you see righteousness, he just defined it right there. It's the keeping of the Most High's commandments. So now, when you look at back here, it says, therefore it is no great thing in 2 Corinthians 11:15. If his ministers, so Satan got ministers, also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, ministers of keeping the laws of the Most High, pretending, whose end shall be according to their works. Let you know, hey, I'm sure you what his end gonna be. Verse 13, for such are false apostles, deceitful workers. Remember he said, many gonna come in this name, say, don't be deceived. They're gonna be deceiving many people. I've told you. For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Mashiach. That's why he said this. Look. Remember, let's go back here and look at what's being said here. And let's bring some light to this picture. He said in Matthew 24, he said in verse 24, Matthew 24:24, for there shall arise false Mashiachim. Yam is masculine plural in the Hebrew. Mashiach is pertaining to the Messiah or anointed. He said there shall arise false Mashiachim and false prophets. That's we just read in 2 Corinthians 11:13. And shall show great signs and wonders, right? And so much that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Behold, I have told you before. That's what he said. So now let's look at if we can, let me find it for you. Go to Matthew the 7th chapter. And verse 21. Matthew 7:21. Now this is the judgment. This is when everybody's standing before the judgment. He said if it were possible, they might even fool the very elect, right? So let you know that this is what they're going to be doing during the time that we living in this earth. In Matthew 7:21. Mashiach said, not every one that said unto me, a Mashiach, or Master, Master, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. But he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven, right? So let's look at what the will of the Most High is. Go to Psalms 40 and 7. Psalms 40 and 7. Said, then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me. This is Mashiach Yahushai. Said, I delight to do thy will, O my power. Yeah, thy law is within my heart. Thy law of the Most High, who he wrote, the laws that he wrote with his finger, the work of the Most High is within his mind. I delight to do thy will. What's the will of the Most High? O my power. Thy law, which is the will of the Most High, is within my heart, which is the Most High's, which I mean is Mashiach Shai's mind. The Most High's laws are within his mind. That's why y'all got to understand, understand this. It's very, very important to see this. You know, because he's letting you know without a shadow of a doubt. So now going back to Matthew 7:21, it says, not every one that said unto me, teacher, teacher, master, master, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. But he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. And we just read the will of the Most High is the laws of the Most High that's in a Mashiach Yahushai mind, so much that he did not sin. He did not sin. It's got to be in our minds. The laws of the Most High, the commandments of the Most High. That's the will of my Father, which is in heaven, he said. He said, many will say to me in that day, look what they're going to say. Remember he said they're going to be doing signs and wonders that if it were possible might fool the very elect. So they're going to say, in the judgment. They're going to say, Master, Master, Mashiach, Mashiach, have we not prophesied in thy name? So they're going to be prophesying in the name of Jesus. Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushua, Ba'ashem Yeshua, Yeshaya, Yehoshua, whatever name they use. They say, hey, many so they're going to come in the judgment and say, Master, Master, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils? And in thy name done many wonderful works? Well, remember what he said. Remember what he said. Don't forget what he said, because I might be going a little fast, but you can go back and look at this and slow it down and go over it how many times you need to be able to hear what the Spirit is bringing out. Because he told us in Matthew 24, he said, in verse 24, for there shall arise false Mashiachim. We already know what Satan appeared as an angel of light, and Mashiach is that light. So he appearing like he's Mashiach. They're going to arise many false Mashiachim and false prophets, it's saying, and shall show great signs and wonders. See, that's what they're going to be saying to him in the judgment. Man, we cast out devils in thy name. We done many wonderful works. Wonders in thy name, right? Insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Say, behold, I have told you before. So don't get it twisted. So going back to Matthew 7 and 22, it said, many will say to me in that day, Master, Master, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name cast out devils? And in thy name done many wonderful works? Insomuch that if it were possible, will fool the very elect. I've seen many things happen. Tripped me out. I could not believe that brothers went with what they went with, but they did. It say, and then shall I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. That's why he said they're going to have to pay for what they're doing and appearing as an angel of light. And they're working iniquity. Gotta understand, understand this, y'all. This is serious. So, look at Isaiah 24. This time of Jacob's trouble. The Most High said He's going to save us out of it. But we got to know how to be saved. Say, behold, the Most High maketh empty. The Most High maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof, putting them everywhere. He's saying, it shall be as with the people, so with the priests. Even Stevens, man. As with the servant, so with his master. Everything will be the same, man. As with the maid, so with her mistress. As with the buyer, so with the seller. As with the lender, so with the borrower. As with the taker of usury interest, so with the giver of usury to him. Everything, like you say, you can wake up and they done changed everything from the way we know it now. The money system, you're looking at all these different nations getting together with Russia, trying to get rid of America's dollar bill. See, the land shall be utterly emptied and utterly spoiled. But the Most High has spoken this word. He said, the earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languishes and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. The prideful people on the earth do languish. They crying out, man. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. Why? Because they have transgressed the laws. See, you're being told that you're not under the law. But the earth is defiled because the people in the earth have transgressed the Most High's laws, changed the ordinances, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore have the curse devoured the earth. And they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. Y'all better hear what he's saying. You don't want to be part of that. That's why look at 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter. You want to be part of that. Most High said, hey, 2nd Ezra 9 And verse 20. Most High said, so I considered the world, and behold, there was peril, danger, because of the devices that were coming to it. All the things that are so wicked, so much that Most High says some of the things we're not even supposed to be talking about are so wicked. He said, so I considered the world, and behold, there was peril, there was danger because of the devices that were coming to it. And I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster. You know? A grape of the cluster. You got a cluster of grapes, and Most High said, I kept me a grape of the cluster. And a plant of a great people. A plant of a great people. That's we, the 12 tribes of Israel. See, let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain. So a lot of people was born in vain. He said, let the multitude of people perish then, which was born in vain. He said, and let my grape be kept in my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect. You gotta understand? Y'all better hear what he's saying. He said, let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain. He said, and let my grape be kept in my plant. For this great people, which we are, 12 tribes of Israel, those that are keeping the law, such commandments of the Most High, fearing the Most High, repentant, and crying to the Most High, that He can deliver us, they can have pity on us, with humility and a broken and contrite spirit, and not any pride within our being. Look what he said in verse 31. For behold, I sow my law in you, and it shall bring fruit in you, and ye shall be honored in it forever. So how are you going to say that we're not under the law? So the people that you're telling they're not under the law, this does not apply to them. For behold, I sow my law in you. This doesn't apply to all those who telling that they're not under the law. You're destroying them. And it shall bring fruit in you, and ye shall be honored in it. That's the law of the Most High, which He wrote with His finger, the work of the Most High forever. But our fathers, this is our forefathers that we're looking at right now as we read in this Bible, which received the law, kept it not, and observed not thy ordinances. And though the fruit of thy law did not perish, neither could it, for it was thine. That's what I'm saying. It's like you are taken away from the work of the Most High. You making the Most High's work be in vain. When it tells you that His work cannot be dissolved, it cannot be disannulled. It cannot happen. For it was the Most High's. Yet they that received it perished. Just like you that receive it, don't want to receive it, you're going to perish too. Yet they that received it perished. Why? Because they kept not the thing that was sown in them. See? So y'all think because you don't have it, you're going to have to deal with it. That's why He said, look, Deuteronomy 28:1. He said we're going to be saved. See, it's Jacob's trouble, but we're going to be saved out of it. There's a method that we have to look at to be saved. And it shall come to pass in the future, if thou shalt hearken, listen diligently, attentively, to the utmost, unto the voice of the Most High, thy power, your power, we as the Israelites, yours a personal possessive pronoun showing ownership, to observe and to do all His commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Most High, thy power, your power, again, Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, will set thee on high, How high? Above all nations of the earth. This is the kingdom. We're going to be set on high above all nations of the earth, meaning the Israelites. Most High will, I'll be a part and you'll be a part of it. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if that's a condition. Thou shalt hearken, listen unto the voice of the Most High thy power, and be righteous and keep his commandments, as we read in Deuteronomy 6:25. Blessed shall thou be in the city, and blessed shall thou be in the field, in the world. Wherever, city, in the world, you're going to be blessed. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kin, and the flocks of thy sheep. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shall thou be when thou comest in, when you born, and blessed shall thou be when thou goest out. The Most High shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways. The Most High shall command a blessing upon thee in thy storehouses and in all that thou settest thine hand unto. And he shall bless thee in the land which the Most High thy power giveth thee. This is what we're looking at in the kingdom. And the Most High shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of the Most High thy power, and walk in his ways. And all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Most High, Yah, Shar-Allah, and they shall be afraid of thee. You hear that? And the Most High shall make thee plenteous in goods, in the fruit of thy body, many children, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy ground, and in the land which the Most High sware unto thy fathers to give thee. The Most High shall open unto thee his good treasure. Remember, my Sheikh said he's going to prepare a place for us. It's already prepared. His good treasure, the heaven to give the rain unto the land in the season, and to bless all the work of thine hand, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. And the Most High shall make thee the head and not the tail, as we are now. And thou shalt be above only. Hear that? It's the kingdom, y'all. We're going to be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath. If that thou hearkeneth, listen unto the commandments of the Most High thy power, which I command thee this day to observe and to do them. That's what we're going to have, y'all. That's what he's telling us. You see? That's pretty prevalent when you look at 2nd Ezra. I'm here. All praise the Most High. 2nd Ezra 8. And we're going to look at verse 51. It says, but understand thou for thyself, talking to Ezra, the prophet, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. How was Ezra's? Verse 48 says, in this also thou art marvelous before the Most High. What's marvelous before the Most High? In that thou hast humbled thyself. Ezra was humble, as it becometh thee, and have not judged thyself worthy to be much glorified among the righteous. You see? Just because you're righteous, you can't glorify yourself and think you righteous. That's why I ask you, brothers, why did the Most High deal with Job? And most will say to show an example. No, it wasn't to show an example. You heard what he just said. And I went through, if you go through the solutions that I just went through during the Feast of Unleavened Bread, you'll see I went through the prophecies, showed you what they said. We have sinned. Therefore, they could not be righteous. You won't see them saying, I'm righteous. But what did Job do? Job 34:5. This is a mystery. Why the Most High sent Satan on Job in Job 1st chapter. This is what it says. Young Elihu, He had to tell Job. In Job 34:5, for Job has said, I am righteous. See? Job said he's righteous. Listen. 2 Ezra 8:48. In this also thou art marvelous before the Most High, in that thou hast humbled thyself as it becometh thee, and hast not judged thyself worthy to be much glorified among the righteous. You hear that? That's what he did. And I showed you that over and over again. I went through all the prophets, a whole lot of prophets, to show you enough to be able to see, oh, this is what they did. We have sinned. Even though they have a book for themselves that's written for them. They still said, we have sinned. Like Ezra right here in 2 Ezra 7:49. For what profit is it unto us if there be promise unto us an immortal time, whereas we, including himself, letting you know he don't consider himself as one of the righteous, as Most High just rewarded him. And you will see how he rewarded him. Whereas we have done the works that bring death, and that there is promised us an everlasting hope. Whereas ourselves, including himself, not including himself as one of the righteous, but ourselves as one of the wicked, being most wicked, see, are made vain. So him saying that, you keep reading down, he's saying that over and over again. Isaiah said it, Jeremiah, you name the prophets, they said it. Nehemiah, all of them said it. Moses, they all said this. That's why this is marvelous in the eyes of the Most High. 2 Ezra 8:48. In this also thou art marvelous before the Most High, in that thou hast humbled thyself as it becometh thee, and hast not judged thyself worthy to be much glorified among the righteous. That's why the Most High said, dare not make thyself one of the number. It said the righteous scarcely gonna be saved. That's why he said, hey, this marvelous in the eyes of the Most High. In that thou hast humbled thyself, meaning you're not prideful, because pride is hateful before the Most High and man. As it becometh thee, and hast not judged thyself worthy to be much glorified among the righteous. This is what he say. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time, that's what we're looking at, Jacob's trouble. The latter time, which is the last days that we're in now, shall dwell in the world. Why? Because they have walked in great pride. Great pride. He said, but understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee, that are humble and not exalting themselves to think that they are that, to be righteous, like Job did. You see what happened to Job? Don't get caught up in the same affliction. So he told Ezra to seek out those that's like him. And he told him in 2 Ezra 14:6. 2 Ezra 14:6 said, these words shall thou declare, and these shall thou hide. Verse 9, he said, but thou shalt be taken away from all. Meaning he told Ezra he gonna die. And from henceforth, from here on, thou shalt remain with my son. That's a Mashiach Shai in the Old Testament. And with such as be like thee. That's why he told him, seek out those that's like he. I understand it. Ezra was given more than anyone. As far as books, Most High gave him 204 books. 124 more books than we have as the Israelites. And most people that's in religion, they don't have the Apocrypha, so they don't have 66 books. He was given 204 books. So he told him to seek out those just like him. How was he? He was humble. He didn't account himself as one of the righteous. So he going to be with those that are like him. That's with a Mashiach Shai. And with such as be like thee, until the times be ended. Right? That's why he told him to seek out those that's like him. I hear him very clearly. Who was not prideful? Who was humble in these days? Most I got to bring his wrath on you to humble you. You better humble yourself, man. Most I want a humble and broken and contrite spirit. Going back to 2 Ezra, the 8th chapter. So Ezra sought out the ones just like him, that's humble and didn't account themselves as one of the righteous. That's all the prophets. I went through that. You can go over the lesson that I just did. You know, the Feast of Unleavened Bread and the solution for us in our day to be delivered. And that's what this Feast of Unleavened Bread is about, changing ourselves and the deliverance that the Most High delivered us out of captivity from the Egyptians. We got to be, delivered from our captivity, saved from our enemies, and saved from the hand of all that hate us in our captivity now. The very last time, y'all. Look, he said, 2 Corinthians 8:52, for unto you is paradise open. The tree of life is planted. The time to come is prepared. Moshe said he's going to prepare a place for us. He said the time to come is prepared. Plenteousness is made ready. Yes. A city is built, that's New Jerusalem is already built, and rest is allowed. Rest going to be allowed when the Most High have mercy on Jacob and yet choose Israel in Isaiah 14, chapter 1-3. Yeah, perfect goodness and wisdom. You hear that? The root of evil is sealed up from you. Weakness and the moth is hid from you, and corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. Sorrows are past, no more tears, no more sadness, no more crying. And in the end, it showed the treasure of immortality, living forever and ever and ever. Immortality, that's in the end. That's why we got to be, doing what the Most High say do to fulfill what we just read in Deuteronomy 28:1-14. That's why he told us in 2 Ezra 2. Let's look at verse 26. He said, as for the servants whom I have given you, there shall not one of them perish. See, some of us not going to perish. He said, as for the servants whom I have given you. Who the servants? Who are the servants of the Most High? Where you go to prove who the servants are? I've given y'all these scriptures many a times. How do you prove who the servants are? It's very important because you get understanding to the precept. You don't understand these precepts, you don't know where to go for these precepts, how are you going to really understand the scriptures as they speak and somebody come along and say this or that to you and you don't even know how to explain yourself as an Israelite. The servants are defined in Isaiah 44:1. Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, see, and Israel whom I have chosen. You see that? So the Israelites are the Most High's servants. You see? Isaiah 44:21, clear as day. Remember these, O Jacob and Israel, the Israelites, who we are, for thou art my servant. There it is. So now when you see servants, it's talking about the Israelites. Right here. 2 Ezra 2:26. As for my servants, as for the Israelites, whom I have given thee, there shall not one of them perish. Hear that? Not one of us going to perish. That the Most High chooses. For I will require them from among thy number. Say, be not weary. For when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh. Remember the Most High told us with Jacob's trouble, he said he's going to save us out of it. In the day of, he said, be not weary. For when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance. Some of us going to have this. Most High will. That's why it's important to develop a relationship with him. Do his will, do his commandments, do what he said do, have faith in him. And stop dealing with all these things that they have us, going astray from him, offending him. It's easy. It's not hard. Most High said in 1 John 5:3, for this is the love of the Most High, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. He said, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance. The heathen shall envy thee. These other nations outside of the 12 tribes of Israel going to envy us, it's said. But they shall be able to do nothing against thee, said the Most High. Say, my hand shall cover thee, so that thy children shall not see hell. See, you know, a lot of people go see hell. They don't want to follow the Most High, so that's why I look at Psalm 91. This is what we can look for. 2. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Most High, he is my refuge and my fortress, my power. In him will I trust. That trust is having faith in him. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, just like he just told us in the second chapter. And under his wings shall thou trust. You're going to have faith within the Most High. His truth, which is, we haven't sung it all night. Psalms 119, 142, thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. See, it says, he shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shall thou trust. His truth, which is his law, statutes, and commandments, shall be thy shield and buckler. So those that are keeping the commandments of the Most High, those that are keeping the laws of the Most High, going to be protected. This is your shield and buckler in fighting the demons in high places, you know, spirits in high places. By keeping his law, doing what he say do, as one of his plant of a great people, he gonna protect us by keeping the laws, gonna be our shield and buckler. See, thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night. Terror is coming at night, y'all. It says, and we in the nighttime. In the gross darkness of the people, the gross ignorance, it's hip talk. Night, you can't see. People can't understand. And also in the night, that terror is coming. Nor for the arrow, that's the missiles that fly by day. These missiles gonna fly by day, man. They coming. He letting you know. These missiles gonna be shot in the daytime. What you gonna do when he come for you? Look. This is real as real can be. This is real. It says, thou shalt not be afraid, verse 5, for the terror by night, nor the arrow, that's these missiles that flieth by day. It's going to be flying in the daytime. Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, these diseases and all the different plagues that the Most High bring upon this earth that walketh in darkness. We in darkness, y'all. Ignorance, not knowing. Majority of people don't know. 2/3 of our people is finished. Only 1/3 is going to hear this and come out of the darkness into the marvelous light and keeping the Most High's laws. It says, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. Destruction going to come at noonday. At noonday, 1,000 shall fall at thy side. You hear that? 1,000 gonna fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. If you do what the Most High to say, he's not a man he should lie. This is very important. See, only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made the most high power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, which is my refuge, even the Most High thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee. But if you don't do this, evil gonna befall you. That's why he said, if you do what he say do, you keep his commandments, he say, there shall no evil befall thee. Neither shall any plague, like they got all these plagues that's coming on the earth right now, come nigh thy dwelling, near thy dwelling. So if y'all have been plagued by some of these diseases and plagues, you better get right with the Most High. Mashiach would say, sin no more. Whenever he healed people, he would say, sin no more. Y'all better get right with the Most High. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up. This is what Satan used against Mashiach when he told him to cast himself down from a high place that he had up on his temple. He told him, he said, for he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways, tempting the Mashiach, to tempt the Most High. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. See? So, this is where you want to be. That's what this is all worth it. Job 5:19. Job 5:19. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Remember what he said. Don't forget what he said when we started. You know, all praise the Most High. Remember where we started? In Jeremiah 30. And we're going to read verse 7. It says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Remember that? If you don't, go back to the first beginning of this lesson. And he tells us in Job 5:19, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yeah, in 7, there shall no evil touch thee, if you do what he say do. His law, statutes, commandments. Have faith in him. In famine, you see what it said. We read that in 2 Corinthians 15. Famine is coming, food shortages. He shall redeem thee from death. So people going to be dying from food shortages, famine. But he's going to redeem some from death. And in war. Remember he said going to be wars and rumors of wars? And in war. From the power of the sword. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, the things that you're going to be saying against the Hebrew Israelites. Neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. Let you know it's coming at night and at noonday, it said. Them arrows going to be shot into the ends of the world. You better understand. It's saying, at destruction and famine, thou shalt laugh. Neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. You're going to have the beasts eating up people. They're going to be hungry too. So you're going to have the beasts eating up people. This is serious. This is real serious, y'all. What you going to do when he come for you? If you ain't ready, you ain't prepared for what it is that's written here. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. This is where you want to be, I hope. And thou shalt know that thy tabernacle shall be in peace. And thou shalt visit thy habitation and shall not sin. It's very important. So all you that saying that we ain't under the law, this don't apply to you. He gonna get you. Because what is sin? The transgression of the Most High's laws. 1 John 3:4. Sin is the transgression of the Most High's laws that he created with his own finger. The work of the Most High. I can't say it enough. He said, thy tabernacle shall be in peace, and thou shalt visit thy habitation and shalt not sin. Thou shalt know also that thy seed shall be great. Yeah. So we're going to say a little one going to bring forth 1,000 children. Thou shalt know also that thy seed shall be great, and thine offspring as the grass of the earth. Help it understand. Don't think I'm better understand. That's what Most High said. Go to Isaiah. See, we have a lot of children. Isaiah 60:21. It says, thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planters. So let no man think he can save you. The Most High said he gonna plant us in the land. The work of my hands, like the laws is the work of the Most High's finger. That I may be glorified. He gonna put us in the land. a little one shall become 1,000. Come on. What'd he say? In Job 5:25, thou shalt know also that thy seed shall be great, and thine offspring, that's our children, as the grass of the earth. What'd he say? Isaiah 60:22, a little one shall become 1,000. So y'all women ready to bring forth 1,000 children? I don't think so. It says a little one, that's one, shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I, the Most High, will hasten it in his time. Understand this. Going back to Job 5:25, thou shalt know also that thy seed shall be great, and thine offspring are children as the grass of the earth. That's a lot of children. Thou shalt come to thy grave in a full age, like as a stock of corn cometh in its season. Lo, this, we have searched it, so it is. Hear it, and know thou it for thy good. And I hope you will know all that I've said for your good. And we'll continue on this. And I say, Crum Most High, power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Crum of Mashiach Yahushai, and Crum Yasharallah. And I'm out. Shalom.